it's Dalanie.
And it's Katie, and this is Classically Black Podcast,
where we talk all things classical music and being black in the profession.
with trap beats playing in the background.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Well, it's the week of our anniversary.
That's this week. I'm playing. It's a little jokey joke. Everybody's so serious.
Wish me a happy anniversary in our comments. So,
I classical music this week, unprovoked. Like no one had to ask me to do it. I listened to well, I listened to Winowski. How you say? When the Violent Girls, you know. Violent Concerto number 1. T. The first movement was a whole lot of hooting and hollering, like a whole lot. But like once we got to the second movement, yeah, very good.
Okay,
that's how I did. How I participated in our profession. Well, adjacently. Oh, the children. I do have children. Forgetting about that.
Well,
how did you classical music this week? Quickly, tell the people how much you love and adore classical music. You play your bass?
That's low. That's a low blow.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Do not do no victim. It was not.
Because you know it is. Because you know the answer to that question.
No, I'm not here 24/7. I thought you said you were finna try. Do you ever do that?
I have not with nails this long.
That could be funny.
Yeah, I mean, you could. Like that.
I had a student, I'm like, ugh, I forgot about that because I do have I have 2 orchestras, and I had a student, and I was looking at her nails, and I was like, you already can't play really like that well. Why'd you eat your nails then? Like, sometimes you just gotta say what it is. Like, you already struggling with the music, and you were like, what if I struggled more?
Period, sis.
And it's like
instrument keep you from the nails of your dreams.
Period. Don't worry, it's not. Don't worry. But they weren't long and they were cute. That's the thing. They be cute. But I'm just like, I didn't even bother saying nothing. Cause I feel like, I don't like do what you want. But that reminded me, I did say we were doing seating auditions. So, well, hopefully she soaked them off.
Hopefully.
I mean, it's 2025. So they probably press-ons.
Oh, yeah.
So do what I had a 6th grader one time. She bit them off before her test. I said, look at her. That's why you got nubs right now.
What, her press-ons?
Yeah, she was like, oh, my bad. I was like, girl, la la.
You know what? Period.
I love that girl. I wonder how
Best
she's
of
doing.
both worlds.
I wonder how she's doing. She was a treat. She was so great. She got to be in college by now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
let's get into the news this week. Couple things. A historian has announced that he's uncovered what he believes to be some of the earliest surviving musical notation in the Western tradition. Apparently, there were some notes on a 9th century vellum manuscript leaf, and it was inside what's called a sacramentary, which is used to record the liturgy in a Catholic mass during the mid to late 800s. So I was like, that's nuts. Apparently it was sitting in someone's private collection, and this historian was evaluating the document that it was on, which is apparently worth about $80,000. Right. Before this, the oldest manuscripts that that people knew of were dated between the late 9th and early 10th centuries. One of them is in France. It's in a library in France, and the other one is in a library.
Huh? Is it? For how long?
Right. France
has got stuff open.
Right. The other one's in a library in Switzerland. So
yeah, at least they got that one.
Right. I mean, it's amazing that stuff survives this long. Like the other two were on a tablet. This one was it was in a book.
Oh, a tablet like no one?
I guess so.
Period.
I'm like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Though. Like something that survived that long. And it's like, you gotta. And apparently they have like, in order to like determine how they can preserve materials like that, there's like a machine that they have. I'm sure other places have it, but I saw the Library of Congress has it, where like it can age certain documents and it can like mimic certain like conditions that they might face like over years and stuff, to like try to predict how the documents will change and stuff like that. Like it's crazy. Like they do that to try to see how they can like counteract it and stuff like that. So that's also what helps people preserve stuff like this. But yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that, because this is somebody's private collection. But imagine you was just sitting on that. I wonder if they knew, like, that you was sitting on one of the oldest.
Where did you get that from?
That's another question. Yeah, where did you get that from?
Somebody stole it. So why do you have that?
Yeah. Worth $80,000. So, but yeah, I'll link in the description. I think this is a picture of it. I think it's definitely from the collection of the historian that discovered.
What language is it in? Oh, did they? Nothing existed yet, like as we know it.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been alive in 800.
You thinking like this is it? Like they 800 look like this to them.
And that's my thing. No, it did not. Like, it couldn't. It did.
Like,
but like, that's so weird.
Like Socrates and them just.
It's just weird. Like, it's just weird to think about.
But also, well, no, actually, I was gonna say, well, no, because we know so much. But it's like they thought they knew everything that they. I was gonna say, because actually we know more about what we don't know than they did.
That's true.
They just kind of assumed that what it was around them was it.
It's just crazy.
That's nuts. Like, imagine thinking your whole world is Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Right. You literally don't know. Like, now we can see what people doing across the globe if we want to.
And also, you can make, like, I was watching what's that smart man? Neil deGrasse. Yeah. He was on some niggas podcast. I'll be seeing him interview a lot of people. I just don't know. I've never been. I think I watched one time. One of his guests, I was like, I'm gonna watch it. I just don't remember. And he was talking about like the probability of seeing aliens in our lifetime. It was like really fascinating, like kind of trippy. I don't like thinking about stuff like that, because it was like he was saying, if we got all this going on, why wouldn't there be something else going on? And the whole idea of like seeing aliens, and then he was like,
you know, how I get. Now I'm like, is an alien just come with the vent?
But it's like I'm like, they also like they figured out a faster way to travel. Probably they've been here already, and they were like, it's like,
I mean, they in that ocean. If they anywhere, they in that ocean.
And like how fast like the amount of time it takes for light to travel, like, yeah, it was kind of like, you have to let him explain it. Like, you look it up, because I'm fumbling around, but it was like, to assume that they haven't even been here before, it's kind of like they might have been. Like, why not? And he was saying, like, the dude was like, is there any way we would go to another planet in my life? And he was like, no. The only way we go to another planet is Russia try to get there first. Because he was saying how, like, everything is political.
Oh, yeah, I did see that clip.
Which is, like, so upsetting. Like, the only reason why we went to the moon is because they was like, we finna go to the moon. And they were like, nope, actually, we about to go there first and put our flag there.
That's such a freaking toddler thing to do.
And haven't been back since.
Like, all right, y'all got it. Yeah. So, well, you can look it up. If
you probably can go borrow it from France. Everything be open over there.
Right. My other thing for the news this week, this has been something that's been going on for a long time, and I hadn't read into it because it was a lot to take in. But there's been a petition launched by several musicians and ensembles to appeal to member states of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. That is a super duper mouthful. But the acronym is SITES, so I'm gonna just say SITES. So these musicians and ensembles are appealing to SITES to warn of the risks to musical life posed by the Brazilian government's proposals regarding Pernambuco wood. So there's been this situation going on for a while now, where the Brazilian government is wanting to change basically the classification of Pernambuco. Right now it's an Appendix 2, which means that when people like source Pernambuco, it needs to like have a certain like type of permit when it leaves, when it's exported from Brazil, but only when it's exported from Brazil. Now they're saying that they want to preserve, they want to protect their forests and preserve biodiversity, and move it up to an Appendix 1, which means that they're going to be stricter restrictions on Pernambuco. The main restriction being that it cannot be exported internationally at all. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that you can't get Pernambuco wood unless you're in Brazil. So, you know, of course, Pernambuco is used a lot in specifically like bow making. And so a lot of people have gotten together, apparently 350 signatories, including some pretty high profile musicians like Janine Janssen, Susanna Malky.
Oh my girl.
I knew you was going to say that.
I love Janine, girl.
You better get on the front lines for your girl.
You said what?
You better get on the front lines for
Well,
your
hold on,
girl.
because what's she saying?
I mean, they're saying that they don't want to. I mean, I'll go into some more detail. There's a list of people here. Augustin Ilyich as well is on the list among some other people. Basically, what would happen if this were to be approved? Which, by the way, the Conference of Parties, which is where they're going to come together to see whether or not this is going to be approved, is happening this month. So I'm sure we'll have an update on it pretty soon. What would happen if this would be approved is that Pernambuco will be prohibited in all international trade, including for bow making. If a string player is traveling with something made out of Pernambuco, they would need to carry a permit from this organization, or a musical instrument certificate, which would require verification across borders. So pretty much whenever you're crossing a border. The reasons why they're like protesting this basically is, one, they feel that would interrupt like traveling for string players and make touring like significantly more, I don't know, inconvenient seems like too light of a word, but it would be strenuous to tour if this is something that you have to do for every time you cross a border, as well as they're worried about bow makers who will of course not have access to what is a huge source of material for them. And they said, quote, permanently cut off from access to their raw material, which is currently irreplaceable and therefore unable to replenish their stocks, the remaining bow makers, heirs to a unique trade, could disappear for good within a few years. All this because of unmanageable administrative procedures that offer no benefit to the conservation of Pernambuco and its habitat. So those are the main things that they're worried about, travel, bow makers. There was also a part in the petition that addresses African blackwood, which is used for crafting wind instruments. What they're asking for in terms of that wood is for there to be specific quotas specifically for reserved for instrument making that will be implemented and enforced by the two countries that export this wood mainly, which are Mozambique and Tanzania. Apparently there's already been a shortage in wind instrument manufacturers because of other sectors that use African blackwood and are using it, more and more and more. And now it's getting to the point where wind manufacturers are not able to get the amount of wood that they used to be able to. I had no idea that was going on, which I know y'all be saying this classically string podcast over here. So to be fair, we wasn't talking about the Pernambuco thing either. So
I saw it, but I just thought I didn't know what it was.
Where you see that? I know you be.
Yeah, I mean, it was in like the little one of the sections of it.
Oh,
So I was just copy pasting. I don't really know. I didn't read it.
You said, whoa.
Somebody was like, can you put more information about what this is? I was like, oh, girl, I don't know. Wait, so okay. I have a couple questions. Maybe you know the answer to. Number one is, how is it strenuous if it's going to be any more outside of getting presenting your passport to an agent?
I think, let me see what exactly they said. It says, well, part of the reason I think was because of the number of applications for these permits. Like it says that it would cause, quote, an unmanageable explosion in the number of applications for derogation permits, and would place even greater constraints for all users. So I guess they're wondering about the transition between if it were to move from Appendix 2 to 1. But usually when they do stuff like that with a law, like there's sort of a period to allow for you to adjust for that sort of thing.
I'm thinking about the amount of time, effort, and money it takes to train an actor to still incorrectly hold an instrument. How are you then going to train thousands of custom agents to be able to correctly identify a Pernambuco bow?
That's what I'm wondering too.
Also, would you know if your bow was Pernambuco? Because I ain't carrying no permit. Would you know? If you had, is that like some 50,000 bows type stuff, or that's just like?
I feel like a lot of bows are made with Pernambuco. I don't know if mine is.
Now I'm not finna find out. I'm like, girl, I don't know.
I don't remember. I bought my bow. It's probably not, honestly. Now that I think about it,
like, is it one of them things where it's like, girl, you ain't gonna remember. You know,
it's like because I bought my bow. Like my bow, it's not no whatever. Because at the time that I would have, if I had kept playing after college, I definitely would have.
I needed a new bow through auditions. I need a new bow right now. I'm still thinking about buying a new bow. Cause
my stuff, like, it was just some stuff just don't be in a budget. Like we've talked about that before. So my bow might be made out of particle board. That's nuts.
I'm about to say, probably one of them trees outside made my bow.
Right, make me one. Low key.
Jen was the first person to be like, "Girl, make this bow work." Everybody, I remember Mr. Taylor one time. I was complaining about it. You know, he rules, so he was like, girl, you just can't play it. He said something like, you know how he be. And then so he took my viola and he was like, oh, and I was like, no. I didn't spend a lot of money. I'm not gonna drop, but I didn't spend a lot of money for it in comparison to the cost of my instrument. Yeah. Because there's like it's arbitrary most likely, but there's like a ratio one should consider based on the amount you paid for your instrument, the amount you should pay for your bow. It's not hard and fast. People do what they want, but I'm not within that ratio at all. I got the girl got the viola, and I know how to make it sing. So I do. That's enough. But I worked way too hard on that Mendelssohn Scherzo. I worked way too hard on certain stuff because it was like that bow just. But if it's out of Pernambuco, girl, I might get a no permit. I don't even know where you go to look for that. I don't even know how to find out if it is. That's what I'm saying. If we can't even. Y'all not even holding the violins right in the movies that y'all are on set for months for. I'm supposed to be entering Colombia, and that nigga's supposed to tell me, "Oh, where's your permit for your Pernambuco?" I don't understand how it's going to be. It's supposed to be like Goodwill, which look at the state of the world. No one's gonna follow that.
I feel like they might be. I don't know if they pulling everybody to the side or something, and I don't know if there's
dogs smell it. Oh, they could do that.
I don't know if there's an easy way to tell. I'm sure they probably got something together because there's lots of things that you can't transport across lines, like kind of like, especially when it comes to stuff like this where it's like flora and fauna type of stuff, like you transporting monkey teeth and they gotta, like
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like Aki, but that monkey teeth is like way better.
I was trying to say something less obvious than like elephant tusks. That's something that's illegal to poach, but it's also like pretty obvious you transport an elephant tusk, like, because
I think, look, when I think about things that I've been stopped at custom and been taken from me, like Aki is one thing. Like, you're not allowed to take because it's like if it's not picked properly, it's poisonous. And I think customs agents at these ports that, I mean, you can fly from Jamaica to anywhere. So I was gonna say in Miami, but people know what Aki, the customs agents knows what Aki is. They know. Also, in general, normally you can't bring fruit into the country, whatever. So they know to be like, I'm just saying, like, that's something that's more, I'm having a hard time conceptualizing it because that's something that's more obvious. Like, this is obviously an orange. This is obviously an elephant tusk. This is a bow. My bow looks the same as my kid's bow.
But I do think, I'm trying to remember, it's been so long since I've been looking at Pernambuco, but I do think it either has a look to it or is it a sound? I'm kind of,
you not finna be tapping.
No, not and that's another thing.
You taking my.
That's another thing. I was like, and now you're subjecting. I mean, there are everything that goes through TSA's or whatever is the equivalent agency other places, is subject to inspection. But like, this is even more so. Now they cracking your stuff open.
That's
now
the
they
thing.
Well, they said Pernambuco it breaks easily if you break it over your knee. So let's see.
I'm because also even with that's why. I'm so happy I don't travel with my instruments as much as I used to, because especially when the tail end of when I was living in Memphis, they got rid of the machines that they changed the machine that my viola could fit through. Technically my viola could still fit through it, but they didn't want to hear that. And I'm not finna argue with you. Like, you stopping me from getting my flight. So they had to manually inspect, and I had to be like, I'm going to take my instrument out of the thing, because they twirling it around like, oh, you guys play violin in middle school. I'm like, yeah, poorly, clearly. You picking it up by the bridge, like, you feel me? So it's like, you're not. Well, I'm so glad I don't gotta go through that for real. I remember the last time I traveled with my viola. I put a gig in New York a couple months ago and didn't even use my viola when I got there, and I was like, this is great. That's great. Like. Oh my God. I'm sure my bow's not permanent. I feel like a lot of people are laughing, girl. Your bow not permanent.
It said, it says, yet hundreds of thousands of Pernambuco bows manufactured since the 18th century are currently used by professional musicians. For classical music ensembles, particularly symphony orchestras and string ensembles, free movement on tour could become virtually impossible or require the use of lower quality equipment, thereby greatly compromising the accuracy and finesse of our performances. So yes, it's about the free movement on tour, and also
maybe they're gonna have like special considerations for that.
That's what they asking for.
Like maybe Chicago Symphony got to get the Pernambuco permit, and not every single string person.
Because I was gonna say, if you, and I think it also kind of speaks. I mean, I know ensembles also added to this petition. Ensemble musicians will have an easier time of this because anything that they would have to do would have to go through, no, maybe not have to, but their ensemble would probably just take care of it, like they do when you go on tour. Like them LA Phil, I've been on that tour. They're not touching them unless it's like an instrument that you carry on you. They're not touching them. The basses, there's somebody that unloads those and whatever, and they do that. So like that would be taken care of, but it makes sense that a lot of soloists and stuff have signed on to this. As well.
350 don't sound like it's gonna go nowhere. Imagine if 300 people were like, "Stop Tchaikovsky Black." Anyway, this is Katie. Like, you know what I'm saying? So y'all signed a petition, girl. They struggling.
Well, they wrote it. I guess they wrote a whole thing, and some ensembles too. So we'll see. And also, I think maybe because like there's like 200 different like parties in this convention that are deciding on this. So I guess, you know, it seems like this is also a global thing. Like people from all over the world are coming and saying and talking about this. And I'll read one more quote before I say what I'm about to say. They said, "We musicians, along with instrument makers, are fully aware of the major environmental challenges facing our society and the urgency of addressing them. We also firmly believe that culture, in the broad sense, must remain a central issue, and these two priorities are not contradictory but complementary. Instrument making is a virtuous sector, using only minimal amounts of wood to produce high-value cultural objects. These instruments, such as bows, can last for decades or even centuries, making them particularly sustainable objects." I was like, that's kind of a good point. Like, I know for the African Blackwood, that was something that they said a lot of other sectors were using up, and I don't know what, they didn't say which sectors. I don't know who else used that. That's used to make clarinets, oboes, bagpipes, so a couple other things as well. but yeah, it's like it is a very sustainable, and I don't know how high the demand is in the in the grand scheme of things. Like I know lots of people, there's lots of bows floating around or whatever, but like I don't know how fast Pernambuco grows. I don't know how big the tree is. I don't know.
It has to grow in Brazil.
That's another thing that I was like, I think maybe, but also the bow makers, whatever, they probably want the one that come from Brazil.
I want $1 million, girl.
I don't know.
Better take you a branch and grow it in what's similar to Brazil, South Carolina.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that like I know that no matter what, like this how some people don't like lab grown diamonds, even though they did the exact same as other grown diamonds
and better.
So right, so I think it might be one of those things. And I knew before I said I was gonna read that quote, before I said what I was gonna say, that I was gonna forget what I was gonna say, but by the end of that quote, but I did it anyway. So.
My question is, do I not know anything about bow making, or do you have to use Pernambuco? You can't just use another tree?
You can, but that's what they were saying. It's lower quality.
You better find a higher quality tree, girl.
You said what?
Find a higher quality tree.
Like, that's like, it's a...
I feel like humanity gotta adjust. Because, like, why is this... My main question is, I love Janine, but my thing is, like, why do they put this in place? Is it, like, affecting the monkeys and deforestation? I feel like that's the bigger issue. That's what I was gonna say.
Is that's not what I was gonna say before, but that was another thing that I was gonna say. Yeah, they say to protect the forest and the biodiversity. I don't know how severe this issue is, and it has to be something.
It has to be something, because I'm just like, we now Brazil getting hurricanes and snow hurricanes, this new thing in the middle of the summer.
Because it was already an Appendix 2, which means that they already have restrictions on it going out of Brazil. They only needed that permit for the one export. But now they're trying to completely stop the exports. But I'm like, yeah, they didn't make that up.
I just feel like that's the only thing is, like, I understand, like, yay, orchestra. But, like, if it's affecting the planet, like, we already got too much going on. It's hot outside. It's hot and cold at the same time outside. Jamaica been flatlined. With the everything's getting worse and worse and drier and drier. Ain't nobody got no money. Like, girl, find another tree.
Yeah,
that's kind of like, I'm not trying to like whatever. I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to make it overly simplistic, but at a certain point, you gotta be like, what is the bigger issue?
Yeah, here? Especially because that whole thing about the bow makers going out of business thing, I was like, that don't really make no sense to me, because y'all still gonna need bows, whether they use Pernambuco or not. Y'all still gonna need bows, and y'all gonna find something else to make the bows. You gonna find something else?
Home Depot full of wood.
Home Depot, Katie.
They changed it. I'm just saying, like, at a certain point, like, girl, do your Chardiac, do your scales. Like, people still gonna watch Janine Jansen with a $3,000 bow.
And they last for centuries, so hold on to the Pernambuco you got.
Right, girl, you flinging it out the window. Like, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say too much, but I think the overarching issue for me is that, why do they put this in place?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the main thing for me. Before I start getting behind my girl, and shout out to Jenny, I mean, she eats down, but it's also, I understand the issue as an artist, but the planet is already on its way out.
Yeah,
like, real bad. So now the monkeys ain't got nowhere to live, and it's find a different way.
I'm wondering, how bad did it have to be for them to be like, yeah, so let's restrict this? Because I don't know, like, it could be a situation the demand is higher than supply. I mean, I know the with African Blackwood, they kind of have a way that they can what they're asking for is just regulations on to have specific protections for this, and it doesn't seem like they're trying to restrict that. They just want the countries to restrict other sectors. Or add protections in to reserve, I guess, a certain amount for this. But with the Pernambuco, it seems like it's an issue of, like, the biodiversity getting messed up. So I don't really know.
Humanity over time has adjusted. Okay, that's my main thing. They once thought using niggas for free labor was the way forward, and now it is no longer that way. In kinda. So you adjust and you move on and you build a cotton gin.
I really want to. Now I'm gonna look into it. Oh no, it looked like regular wood to me. Oh, maybe that look like my boat right there. My boat is Pernambuco.
I'm gonna say, who am I? One of them girls?
How I find out? But I don't want y'all confiscating my stuff. Now I go in and y'all like, well, actually, we need a permit.
Yeah, also you not taking my bowl. But I feel like if I went to my maker, he would know.
And I know like it's something about the vibration.
And that's fine. You know how many species of trees there are?
It's the national tree of Brazil. Oh, y'all would love that.
And that look, and they want a flatline Brazil.
I really want to know. Oh, so yeah, it's endangered.
It's endangered.
That's what I was gonna say. I want to know how bad it is. I'm gonna read into this for real.
Yeah, they might as well use panda skin for the cases then, since y'all don't care about that stuff being endangered.
What you say, penguin skin?
Panda.
Oh, panda skin.
They endangered too. What else can we do?
Right.
And run the concert halls on fossil fuels.
Excessive harvesting.
See?
Ooh, classical music.
That's why I was not finna get too behind it. Well, you might as well just do everything. Why don't we get some panda skin? We could start an orchestra of Central California where we will play outside to a bonfire and burn fossil fuels and watch deforestation happen right before our eyes, since we're just doing stuff. Yeah, I'm finna get me a viola case made out of panda skin, since we're doing endangered stuff.
Here is I wanted to know about the replanting, because we talked about like why can't they? There got to be a reason.
Brazil, no offense to Brazilians, y'all are tea.
It says that restoration of the species in the wild is hampered by the fact that it is a climax community species, which will develop well only when planted amongst secondary forest vegetation. So it says, although many saplings have been distributed or sold during recent decades, that has led to the tree being planted in places outside its natural range with somewhat poor results, such as what happens when Brazil wood trees used for urban landscaping in the city of Sao Paulo. It says they fruited abundantly in the city in 2009 due to a humid season. So it looks like it's hard for them to grow outside of their specific environment.
There got to be a scientist somewhere that could, because I haven't been to Brazil, but it seems like, based on very basic knowledge of the climate, South Carolina and Florida will be perfect places to try to replicate what's going on.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm like, there gotta be a reason.
A reason for what?
Like why that, like, because that seems like very straightforward, but it's like there's got to be a reason why that's not working.
Because I think it's a very specific. It sounds like, from what you said, the very specific. It's like this specific flower from the year 2040 billion BC, and this plant and this blade of grass grows in community with that tree, and it can't be replicated.
Yeah.
But it's like, ain't no scientist nowhere that could.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, yeah, but like
how close can you try to replicate it?
Yeah. Even
if it's like a lab grown.
But I guess, is that how plants? Because then it's like, I feel like with plants though, it's like it won't grow, or it won't like grow like a healthy tree or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, we made a tree that's the closest to this. Like, you saying how close can you replicate it, but I feel like you wouldn't get a tree out of that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
How close can you replicate the environment?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like the tree wouldn't grow if the environment is not, even if you get it close. Yeah, like it won't grow the tree healthily enough to be able to harvest wood from it. Is what I'm assuming is the issue. Oh, y'all up against it. Not me though.
There are millions of species of trees. America ain't got nothing that y'all could take.
Now I want to hear like how tea really is.
Like, come on.
They said the lower quality performance. I mean, classical music sales no low key. No, I'm just kidding. I really want. Yeah, now I kind of want to hear like when they do them videos where it's like a $5,000 violin and a $50,000 whatever. Like, now I want to see, because I remember having a talk. I remember learning about Pernambuco and like how was the best wood for this or whatever. And but I don't remember the specifics of like why.
What bows was they using? When did the slave trade start? Because what bows were they using? All them girls that they whatever. I was gonna say Salieri. He did not do it. What's it called? Guarneri and them. What were they using? Because how did you find? And how long did it take for you to find out that Brazil? Because the only girls in Brazil, right? How long did it take for you to find out that Brazil had the tree?
It says here that
I'm not buying it.
It says excessive harvesting led to a steep decrease in the number of Brazil wood trees in the 18th century. So it's been around for a minute. It looks like they started. It says that it was highly valued in Europe in the 16th century. So they've been on that for a while.
They've been on that for. When did Christopher Columbus?
Who always at the scene of a crime?
And imagine it is the year 1500, and y'all
always digging up somebody's soil, making their land barren.
How did they figure out where Brazil was? I feel like it's not lining up in my head. When did Columbus? That was 1492, but remember that 14. But he wasn't nowhere near Brazil. He wasn't near America either.
So maybe he was near Brazil. He went over here.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. I'm gonna have to. I can't lie. I'm gonna lose interest in this immediately after we move on. But if someone could tell me, you know what? Who could tell us? I know exactly who to ask. Because I don't understand. It took y'all 90 days to sail to these places. Y'all looked at the entire island, Brazil. You were like, yep, this is the one. No, you had to try the trees too. So how long did that take? And then how are y'all cutting down so many trees without power tools, type of stuff like that?
It says here, when Portuguese navigators landed in present-day Brazil on April 22nd, 1500, they immediately saw that Brazil wood was extremely abundant along the coast and in its hinterland along the rivers. In a few years, a hectic and very profitable operation for felling and shipping all the Brazil wood logs they could was established as a crown-granted Portuguese monopoly. The rich commerce which soon followed stimulated other nations to try to harvest and smuggle Brazil wood contraband out of Brazil. And it says the corsairs to attack loaded Portuguese ships in order to steal their cargo. For example, the unsuccessful attempt in 1555 of a French expedition led by, he got a long name, to establish a colony in present-day Rio de Janeiro was motivated in part by the bounty generated by economic exploitation of Brazil wood.
Now, white on white crime.
So barely in 1500, they rolled up and was like, y'all got a lot of this. What if we took it all?
Heaven is empty.
And Portuguese, and that's why they be speaking Portuguese down there right now.
Heaven is empty. I just don't understand the thought process of being like, you know what we should do? We should go and see if there's anything else out here. And if there is, it's going to be ours.
Right. And we're rich now.
And then talking about the Portuguese crown said we could have it. Girl, who are you?
Yikes.
Yeah, that's why I don't know, y'all. Y'all be blessed. There are so many other woods. There's no wood grown in France. Go find you. Yeah, Instagram maker gonna tell me why you cannot use just a different type of wood. You got plenty of time, and that's if you was really on your job, if you was really trying to make some bread, you would start now. You would be like, I'm finna sample all these woods and make all these different types of bows and figure out what the next best thing is, girl. Get on your Jimmy Neutron, figure out how you could grow your backyard.
Yeah, here we go. This gonna be next week. Bow makers seek sustainable alternatives to controlled or controversial materials.
There you go.
So I'm gonna read this and maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, next week because we got more. But
that's it.
Period. Time for the intermission. Speaking of crime, we are going to play It's Not Criminal to Destroy Our Planet. You agree with Pernambuco?
I agree with the wood.
Yep. Go sign a petition. Let's watch. Sign it.
This don't got nothing to do with me. Got something to do with you.
Tangentially.
Not tangentially. You got a bow in there right now. Probably more than one.
Yeah, but half of them are not.
You never know. It seemed like the more
a couple of them I know they are definitely not Pernambuco.
But now I'm like, maybe they cutting it with something because it seems maybe they sprinkling in some Pernambuco shavings with some other stuff because it seemed like they acting like ain't no other wood can do this.
It's just no way. First of all, I hear kids play on not Pernambuco every day, and let me tell you something.
Some people was switching to carbon fiber.
And I tell you right now, if I handed them kids a Pernambuco bow, it would sound exactly the same. Okay, so that's that first thing. The second thing is y'all need to get like niggas and you need to start making pack bows. Because sometimes you can't tell the difference with pack care has gotten so good.
Pack bows? Katie?
Pack bow. Feel me? So it's like, I just don't buy it. I don't. Y'all be okay. And also, everybody who signed that petition already owns it. Stop trying to destroy the planet. We only got one. And that's why them aliens came and they left. Because they was like, whoa, what is going on here? Any other questions? Okay, we're going to play. Oh, let me make sure I'm prepared. We're playing a game. Aren't you excited? Oh, okay. Weird response to my normally fun and jovial games. Okay, we're going to play a game called Jailbreak. Okay? You have...
This is nuts. Considering the topic.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, I know why.
Too far?
Go ahead.
It's not bad. It might be tasteless, but I had to remind myself because the empathy be kicking in. I'm like, he killed someone.
Oh yeah. I don't know the circumstances though.
Oh, true.
But that's where I was weighing. But we'll talk about it.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, damn. I was like, wait.
Yeah, but then
because like murder, you just did it.
But also,
oh, true.
I just don't know.
But he said he did it.
Well, yeah, but like, sorry, we'll talk about it.
Anyway, I'm playing a game called Jailbreak. You were trying to break out of jail, Dalanie, and in order to pass to the next phase of breaking out of jail, you must answer a riddle.
Sounds serious. My life on the line. I'm doing riddles. Okay.
You see how you just jump to this is not real. Okay. So, step number 1, you decide to break out of jail. Are you excited? Wow. Breaking out of jail is so pointless because they will find you. Eventually. Yeah, unless you're a Sada Shakur.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that was so long ago. It's like she had done that in 2025. She'd have been right back in
Oh,
there.
like you would not have made it to get close enough to Cuba.
Like,
not real bad. Okay. So you're gonna use a spoon to dig a hole through the cell wall. You want to get into the sewer because you want to go underneath, and you really don't want to get caught. Yeah. What kind of band doesn't play music? The warden's coming.
Contraband?
Oh, no. Because considering, I like how you did that.
Yeah. Not the warden's coming. That's crazy.
Quickly. Here's you scraping.
What kind of band doesn't play music? A band? That's what I need.
Oh, we're not getting very far.
Okay, I came up with a good answer. It's not my fault your answer didn't line up with mine. What kind of band doesn't play music?
You might be mad at the answer because these are cheesy. These are from Classic FM.
You said what?
These are from Classic FM, so. Dang, I didn't expect you not to make it out the cell, girl.
Okay, dang. Sarah Bond? I don't know.
Oh, that's why you're going to be mad. I'm going to give you Sarah Bond because that's actually very good. Because I was annoyed by the answer of this, a rubber band. You know the British kind of. Okay, so you're in the sewer now. Giant rat, you got to fight to make sure you can get. Oh my God. What kind of phone makes music?
What kind of phone makes music? Sousaphone?
No.
It do. Saxophone?
Yes.
Oh,
I love because it's like that's the easier one.
oh, I
It's
guess
saxophone.
so. You know,
That's why I was laughing.
Oh,
Okay, so you fight the rat. Congratulations. Okay, you climb up a tunnel. You're trying to get out through the manhole. What musical instrument can you hear but not see or touch?
you can see. I'm about to say theremin. You can see and you can touch it, but you can hear but not see your voice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, time to sneak past the guards through the yard. Make sure you don't get caught. What has lots of hammers but no nails?
Piano.
Yeah. Okay, you're hopping the fence. Make sure you don't get caught in the barbed wire.
Oh, God.
Let's see, which one do I want? What instrument doesn't tell the truth?
Doesn't tell a liar.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there you go. See, it wasn't that bad.
Period.
That's it. Yay, Dalanie.
Yay, I'm free.
In the back.
But that's what would happen.
That's literally what would happen.
Oh, you'd be walking.
Like, what's I was gonna say Independence Day. Like, what's that movie with Denzel and when they? Oh, that was so traumatic. I want to say Independence Day, but it wasn't Independence Day. But anyway, he thought he got away
Maybe
from
it was. Isn't that the one who's a dirty cop?
Yes, is that Independence Day?
I'm pretty sure. Is it? I don't know. I've never seen it. I remember I read the synopsis of it pretty recently because I don't watch movies like that. Is that the one where he was a dirty cop?
Maybe it is.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Nah. What's that one? It's the King Kong ain't got shit on.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's something day though. It's something day. Training Day.
Training Day.
I knew it was something with a day in it. Yeah.
And it's like he really thought he got away from them Russians, and they lit. I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, he's dead. Like the way they blew,
And they said, let's
make sure. They were like, grr, grr, grr. I was like, oh damn, you know, like he's dead.
Dang.
Yeah, that movie was. I don't know about it.
Okay.
You imagine? Maybe they'll shoot you in the foot. Just come get you.
Maybe.
I feel like you should just kill me. Because they catch you in what? They put you in solitary for 90 days? Well, actually,
forget what's going on. You don't even know where you at that point. Solitary is cruel. Oh my gosh.
at first I was like, but then it's like you don't know what time of day it is.
Yeah, like that really like something. I think I really feel like you just can't really fathom what it's like. Like I think so, like the concept of it, but then when you hear people talk about what it's actually like, and like just your brain, like your brain just starts breaking down. Basically, like
wait, what?
It's really cruel. Like it's like cruel and unusual to put somebody in solitary confinement because you feel like, oh, I could be alone for that long, but it's like no, you're not. Like there's nothing in there. Like they put your food through a slot. Like there's nothing. You don't know what time of day it is. You don't have nothing. You might have a magazine. How many times can you read the same magazine? How many? Like you go crazy. You'll go crazy. Like yeah, they really should just. I really feel like. And then no sunlight too. Some people get sunlight for like an hour a day, maybe.
There's this. I don't know if you heard about. Was it that? Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you heard about that cheerleading coach from a couple of years ago. She went viral for her cheerleading team because she did this elaborate like walking routines, and then she did a music video and like whatever in Albany, Georgia, I think. I forgot. I'm blanking on her name. Anyway, it was this whole controversy. Trigger warning: sexual assault. It was this whole controversy because one of the cheerleaders on her varsity team had a boyfriend, and she was like making out with him and doing all type of stuff, like the teacher. Yeah, you didn't react, so I was like, I wanted to make sure you knew. Yeah, like he was cheating on his girlfriend with Audrey Williams, that was her name. They were like doing stuff or whatever, and they offered her, and it was so bizarre because it came out, and he was like trying to, what's the word, because I feel like when you're that young, he used to be like 16 or 17. When you're that young, you don't really understand like the gravity of like what's happening to you. Like you're not in control of that situation.
Especially as a boy.
Drake has a lyric that I was like, you should talk to a mental health professional.
A lot of them. I remember when Lil Wayne was talking about he lost his virginity. He was like 12 or something by like from a grown woman. I'm like, you're a victim.
Yeah, like when
you should not have done that.
Yeah, same thing with Drake. It was like, yeah, I lost my virginity to my babysitter, and it could have just been like a little play on words, which is odd, but Drake is odd. But I was like, every time I hear that line, I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's fucked up. Hopefully, at the very least, she wasn't an adult.
Hopefully,
but still, it's still messed up. But
it's messed
like,
up.
Hopefully, she was like
maybe 16 or something.
Yeah, like your 16-year-old babysitter. But still, if she's 16, she babysitting you. You got to be pretty young, way too young to be having sex. Way too young.
And it's like every time I hear, I don't remember what song it's on. Every time I low-key be wanting to delete it. I just don't.
That just reminded me of that lady. She died the other year. Period. That lady, she was a teacher, and she got pregnant by like her 6th grade student. Or like 5th grade student.
6th grade.
I was like, and then she went to jail. I think, oh my God, that actually just like, I could picture her right now, and she died. She died like either last year or the year before, and everybody was like, yay, because she sucked. She sucked. She got pregnant by like a 5th grader. He was like no older than 6th grade. Absolutely no older than 6th grade. Went to jail, got out. In like a week or two, they caught her in the car with him.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and then they got married. They have kids. They got married, had kids, and I was like, and see, that's why when people catch you young and they grooming you, all this type of stuff, because he married her.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a lot going on there that's like, you're not in control of this at all.
Like, what's wrong with you? 30-something having sex with a 6th grader? You need to die.
There's a video going around right now. This dude it's gonna go viral because he called the man's name, the pastor's. He was like, yeah, well, I was giving you head in the bathroom before church, and his wife walked in on him.
What are you talking about, Kim? No.
Sorry, it's not funny. I saw that today.
Yeah.
They was in the bathroom.
The church situations.
They was in the bathroom, and he was giving him head, and yeah, the first lady walked in on it and just like walked out. So both of y'all need to be in jail. South Haven, Mississippi. I was like, so outside of Memphis. So I'm gonna see how that unfolds. And it's like, I believe him because that's some church stuff, number one. And number two, you don't play that kind of slanderous stuff if you don't want, but that's like ridiculous. Like because he called him to the church and the name of the pastor. So it's like, you're facing like criminal issue charges, maybe not charges, that's a word, but you're facing a lawsuit, legal action if you're incorrect by that. I mean, maybe he still will, but it's like,
oh my gosh, yikes.
But yeah, Audrey Williams, they offered her like some plea deals, so she refused both of them because it was so weird, right? So all of this came out that the boy tried to blackmail her and was like, yeah, if you give me like 5 bands, like I'll leave you alone. She was like, no. So then he like went public with it, and I think I followed the girl whose boyfriend it was. That was weird. No, I didn't follow her. I followed this other girl. But anyway, then she like came back on some like, there you go. She came back on some like religious stuff, like, you know, posting the oh, she's married and she just had a baby. She had a baby. Her son got to be like 2, and her husband's a police officer, and her dad is the principal of the school that she taught at. So she really thought she was gonna get away with it. Then she came back and posted some like gospel music vlog thing on Christmas. There she go. And it was so odd because I remember when I saw that, because I heard the news and I was like, wait, what? Not the girl with there go her little video that she was doing. I was like, not her. And she did all these like really good like, and Monroe cheerleaders, they had to like take that page off of TikTok because everybody was commenting like, what about whatever. So I lost my train of thought. So she came back with that post, and that's when I like I unfollowed her when I found out about the allegations, and then it came up on my For You page, the little gospel music Christmas, because it was like around either last year or the year before that, gospel music Christmas vlog, and I blocked her because I'm like, you have serious allegations, no one feels bad for you, and it's not gonna just go away, and it didn't, because now she's on trial.
Period.
And they offered her like solitary. What?
You saw the verdict?
Wait, what?
Not guilty.
No way. No way. No way.
Not guilty. Found not guilty of sexual assault after kissing her student.
Oh, maybe they weren't.
Let's see.
Oh, I gotta go on TikTok. What was that from? That was from today?
This is from yesterday. But also, wow, yeah.
Not guilty to all?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. They say not guilty of sexual contact with ex-student Jaquan Maddox.
It might, like...
Wow.
What happens after that? 'Cause I know they revoked her teaching license. I mean, no principal, no matter how desperate you are, you rather have them kids alone in the room playing with a socket than hiring her.
And a fork.
Than hiring her.
Wow.
And also, like, the town she lived, Albany, Georgia, I don't know a lot about it, but it's very small.
Or she admitted to kissing him, but she denied having any sexual intercourse with him. I'm sure you did, because then it would be like, okay, guilty. Like,
kissing a student is nuts.
Like, girl,
they're children.
You're weird.
And that's why some of them teacher babes you gotta be watching out for, because
I saw that discourse happening. I saw that. Wow. Yeah, not guilty. Wow.
So what happens now? Because she can't get a job in Georgia.
Yikes.
Maybe that's why. Maybe she took them deals because she won't take them deals, because the reason why we got on this is because solitary. But it was like an alarming amount of solitary. Like the first one had like, it was like 10 years and like 90 in solitary or something, 90 days in solitary. And I was like, do I not know what solitary is? Because 90 days sounds like a lot. Yeah. So did she take
way too much?
So I was like, maybe I don't know what solitary means.
Yikes.
The second deal was like 10 years and 60 days in solitary.
Dang.
I mean, good. I feel bad for the kid. He's gonna be thinking about that for a while. I feel like he should.
And that was quick. It says her trial was 3 days.
Yeah, it just started, so I brought it up. I was like, oh, she on trial right now.
Dang. 3 days. That's crazy.
And of course, he's a kid. That kid was up there playing. Not playing. I didn't see all the clips, but like, not lying, but being like, there was like one thing where he's like, oh, what did she say to you? And he's like, I don't remember, I don't know. And then he was like, not whoever his adults were in his life. I'm like, this is actually very, if you were kissing my kid, you have to do some type of jail time.
Yeah. Or I will.
I just feel like letting her off scot-free is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
For even kissing a student.
Yeah. It's certain stuff I'm gonna have to be waiting for you on the courthouse steps.
like what's her name? Adriana?
Yeah. Adriana Williams.
Here it goes.
Oh, her LinkedIn's still up. Currently a teacher at Monroe Comprehensive High School. No, you are not.
Yeah, look, the first comment is protect black boys. That's like,
that's really just like, it's just really one of the most. I meant to watch that because a lot of clips from To Catch a Predator are coming back up because they made a documentary about it, about the show, and I'm gonna watch it. Because
there's a whole lot going on. Her stuff, because mind you, in the midst of all of this, her husband stayed with her. If I sent my kid to school and you are kissing on him,
it's like having a kid. It's like there's just so many things going after. like kids, it's just like I would be a nervous wreck if I had a kid. I'll be right there in the class with you. I ain't nobody finna be alone with you. Like that's the thing. Like, and we've talked about this when it comes to like when we've talked about some music teachers that have done inappropriate things and stuff, that it's just like how many times I've been alone with a teacher. It never crossed my mind that like, oh, I'm in danger or like whatever. Like, and so the fact that you're like abusing that, it abusing people's trust that they put in you to be normal with their child, like all that type of stuff. I'm like, no, some of y'all, you don't want to know what I think you deserve. So
I'm just kind of sick. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Cause you want men to like become normal, and it's like, what if he doesn't get some type of counseling, like how is he finna turn out?
Yeah. And I mean, we finna talk about.
Yeah, right.
And it's in the topic. So the topic this week, I came across this article in the Marshall Project, which covers criminal justice, nonprofit journalism, about criminal justice. So there's no paywalls, as well as I would link the article in the description, but it's called How I Became an Opera Composer in a Maximum Security Prison. And it is about Joseph Wilson, who is currently incarcerated in Sing Sing prison in New York. And he had an opera called 9131, a Sing Sing opera, performed at Carnegie Hall in 2023. So the article is about how he got into opera, composing, and just his journey through that. He was participating in 2 different music programs in the prison from 2014 to 2023. One of them is called Music Cambia, and the other one is Carnegie Hall's Musical Connections. Those programs, they pair professional musicians and singers with incarcerated men to develop their musical talents through workshops, and then they give concerts for the incarcerated population, and later on they incorporated families as well into those. And for him, what drew him to opera was apparently Joyce DiDonato came and performed, and she would come back. She came back a couple times to perform, and that's that, and the fact that he could not get an instrument through this program, like I said, we're all like taken, is what made him start to kind of play around with composing. Yeah, that's how he got into it. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't know programs like that were so extensive at prisons. Like were so extensive at prisons. Like they got like all different type of stuff you could choose from. Like, I was like, that's kind of cool. I'm happy he found an outlet.
Why you looking like that?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. That he, and especially like, I couldn't imagine trying to I all the knowledge I have, and I don't be composing. So he really just, and it kind of makes you a little sad, because it's like, if he was down a different path, could have been a really prolific composer, because look how much he figured out on his own. Just clunking around the piano, hold on to melodies as best he could. Like, imagine if he went to school and had like or didn't go to school and just had more access to information and resources. Like, that's sad.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, that he used to be writing short stories and poetry. He would always be listening to music because he grew up in a physically and sexually abusive environment, and so that apparently he was displaying some interest in stuff like this before what happened, which as Katie said earlier, he's in prison for murder. So
did you look up his story?
No, I did Google him because I wanted to see if I could hear some of his compositions. I couldn't find any anywhere, but I don't know the circumstances of the murder.
I almost did, but I'd be scary. So I was like,
and he has such a common name that I felt I didn't know. He's been in prison for, I don't know when this I don't think it says when he first went to prison.
Murder.
Yeah, murder. Yeah, but a lot of, apparently the opera that they played at Carnegie Hall was 10 years in the making. I was like, dang. But also when you read the article and you see the process that he had to go through to compose something like this, because like obviously like he not on Sibelius, like
right,
and he has to do everything like he was writing down like he would be singing a melody in his head and he had to wait until he could go write it down, you know, like if he was doing something else, like you can't just I need to go to the whatever, like he had to wait. And he said that he lost a lot of melodies by just not being able to get his ideas down on paper in time. I was like, I was thinking about me and my memory. I was like, I definitely would. I still my opera would have been 433 part 2. You don't remember nothing.
Oh, you know, if I go on Reddit and see what the girls are saying. I'm sure somebody on Reddit knows enough to dug it up. But yeah, this is just sharing it. Let me see. There's another Reddit. Cause it's like you in like murder in what way? Like you in murder? You in jail forever? Murder?
And that's the thing. I wonder. Cause because this is what we was kind of alluding to earlier with the murder thing. Cause I'm very like, when I saw this, I was like, oh, thank God. Cause I feel like people don't really emphasize the corrections part in correctional facility, like because everything about prison is designed to keep you there or send you right back. And
it's a clemency petition.
I watched a documentary. There's a documentary. I can't remember if it's a series or I think it's a series called College Behind Bars, and it was very like, it was just amazing to see like it was about the Bard prison initiative, which allows people to they can get associate's degree and bachelor's degree. I don't know if anything higher than bachelor's degree in prison from Bard College. And a lot of people were completing it and getting out of prison and you like leading, you know, getting jobs and be able to like lead lives. And some of them were in prison for murder. Some of them I think were never getting out. One guy, he did get out. He was in prison for a long time. I should look him up and see what he's doing, because he was in prison, I don't know, maybe 30 years, something long like that, you know. Because he went in really, really young and he got out, but he got out with like two degrees or something, and he was working it, and he showed him trying to learn how to use a computer and all that type of stuff. And one of the things he did, he became like fluent in German. And he said what drew him to learning German was that like the atrocities that they committed and all that they did to atone for it, because he felt like that he connected to that in his story because he was in prison for murder. I forget what the circumstances of his thing were, but some of them, I believe the circumstances were like, I can't remember if it was his story or somebody else's, where like it was a bunch like people in the park, you know, doing something, and somebody started shooting and somebody started shooting back and whatever, and it hit a bystander and that person died, and now you're in prison for murder. And like, and that takes nothing away from the family, because I was struggling with that too. I was like, oh my gosh, like
the pipe is leaking, and then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I was like, you know, I just know like prison is really just such a dark place, and there's a lot of people in prison. Like I feel like a lot of people see the surface level of like, you bad equal prison, like when it's like it's just not that straightforward for in a lot of situations. And but also I can't lie, if you took my mama out or something like that, there's like, nothing too bad for you, like nothing at all. I'm trying to
think, like he sounds like a great, like he sounds like he's grown a lot. But I'm just like, if I was that person's family, and now you getting a write up and everybody talking, because there's multiple, like so there's multiple. Like I looked up, and there's politicians that support his clemency, and I'm like,
I would have been like, this nigga wrote an opera. I mean, niggas writing operas and didn't kill nobody. But I had to really, and that's why I was like, I want to know the circumstances, but then the circumstances don't take away from that life and the people who are probably never the same because of it.
Yeah. The only way I could see myself, I mean, I have to chew on it more. The only way I could see myself really feeling bad for him is if he actually didn't do it, and like because what happened to Black people every day. That's the only way I could be like, I don't know.
It's hard, yeah, because it's hard because there is also the fact that like, okay, so he mentioned the opera, and the storyline is basically about, he said it's a man or a boy a boy who is trapped in and physically attached to a cube made of dust containing the souls of his ancestors. He escapes and enters a world that is hostile towards him. Unprepared to deal with the outside world and lacking conflict resolution skills, he commits a murder. He pleads for mercy, but the ancestors of the murdered character want revenge. The most I could do is holding two things at once, because there are so many people who end up in positions like this where it's like there's some people that have they simply never had a chance.
Yeah, he sounded like he did not have a chance.
Yeah, like imagine a kid, you're born into an environment where all you know is people being violent against you, abusing you sexually, physically, emotionally, all that. Yeah, you probably don't know how to regulate your emotions or whatever. Now you can't be like, well, sorry I killed your mama because I didn't know how to regulate my, like, but it's just one of those where it's like it's sad both ways.
Yeah, but
at the same time, even though you locked up and you in prison, you found a new passion, you whatever, that person gone forever. No new passion for them, so it's like the most I could do is like I really feel for that, and that's where all the preventative justice and all that stuff, or restorative justice, and more importantly prevention, because I know some of the restorative justice are like, again, somebody take my people out, don't talk to me about no damn restorative justice, like no, but all that prevention and stuff like that is always like a what if, like what if he had not even, like you said, not even going to school, but just had at the bare minimum have been protected in the way that every child deserves, every person deserves. So it's like happy that you found this within this environment, but like, yeah, it's really hard that's what I struggle with, right? When I watched that documentary, which was very, very good. It was inspiring too, like, because you do see a lot of those people were the people who just like didn't have no chance. All your family murdered, and that's all you know, and all you know is to watch your back and whatever, and try to get people before they get you and all that. Like, I don't know what it's like to be in that position, like, but at the same time, I don't know.
It's just so complicated.
Because there are people who are better people than me who can hold that. Like when that dude, remember that guy, Botham Jean, that guy who was in his apartment, in the white police officer lady, she thought it was her apartment, and she walked in and she shot him while he was on the couch, whatever. And his brother was like, forgive you, whatever. And I was like, if the way I will hunt you for the rest of my day or rest of your days, you talk about something, I forgive you for shooting my brother, and it was like really soon after.
I'm like, you hated that nigga.
And some people feel like, so some people who are even in the position of the family are able to do that. I don't see that for me, and hopefully I never have to.
I feel also I have such a complicated relationship with forgiveness, in that like I don't mind forgiving, but I feel like the way that it is taught and approached is so toxic, because I don't know. It's like, fine, I forgive you for shooting my brother, but it's not like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, at a certain point, I get to a point where I'm no longer holding it in my heart, but it's like, no, you will go to hell, and you will. Well, it's not my place to put you in hell, but you lucky. A lot of y'all are lucky. But I feel like a lot of forgiveness is performative sometimes. Like, I'm happy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the circumstances of it, of course, and if it was some type of wrong place, wrong time, this is unfortunate type of thing, perhaps. But it's like murder.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin, it was just a bit. Kevin on stage he did a show. Well, it wasn't just, but over the summer he did a show, and the person he called up on stage served 13 years for murder. And they were like, it was a bit, because she said it, and they like backed up from her, and they were like, murder, like, and she was like,
13 years,
and she was like,
must have been murder too.
And then she said something like, well, I ain't no snitch. And I was like, okay, so what, that, to your point, okay, what are the circumstances? Maybe it was like he didn't want to snitch on somebody, so he also got the charge, or
And also, there's also the whole black men being overcharged and stuff like that. Like, not saying he didn't kill nobody, but like they're different. That's the reason why they're different degrees to murder. And so some stuff could have been a murder too or manslaughter charge, and they like whatever. But like we just don't know. We just don't know. But that's what I was kind of struggling with. I mean, I do think anything that can be done to give people this sort of outlet or resources while they're in prison, regardless of what they did, I'm still going to be in favor of, only because I don't know if he'll ever get out. I don't know. It doesn't say. But if in the event that he does get out, it's better he gets out as the person he is now than the person he was before he did these programs, because the recidivism rate is like way higher. Like there's been studies done like that giving people access to like education. I don't know about music and stuff. It's probably similar. It's probably similar in every. They have so many different programs like that pair people with animals, with like different stuff. All of that brings the recidivism rate down and helps people reintegrate into society. But unfortunately, that's not what people like want. They want people to be in prison making pennies on the dollar, doing stuff over. But in the event that he can't get out, I'd rather this be the person that get out than who you were before, who hopefully this helped you work through, because the whole opera is about his journey and all that type of stuff. So hopefully this helped you work through your inability to resolve conflict and stuff. So,
but it's not like he's not getting out, because there was a line about how this is as close as, because the ensemble came to the prison that he's at, and there was a line about how this is as close I'm going to get to a symphony orchestra.
Oh,
if he was getting out in 40 years, you might.
Oh, well then maybe he's not getting out. I hope maybe at the very least this will be. I feel like stories like this get it's complicated when it comes to the person that's in it, and it's like the best we can do. Maybe not in my opinion, because I'm not a prison abolitionist. Is take this as a cautionary tale and make sure that we're protecting people before they get to the point of stuff like this, because I do believe stuff like that works. I do believe in decarceration, but it's just certain people need to be like I can't get all the way there with the abolition stuff. It's just I can't, and I understand there's more to it than that, which is the only reason why I don't really be talking about it that much, because like I would like to read more into it. I don't seem to be changing my mind on that. I really, some of y'all need some, but like it just depends. Like I can't really say I believe that nobody deserves to be in prison.
Like nobody
at all. Y'all be peeling people's stuff back and eating their insides. Like you can't be around with us.
You saw that one story of I had to start swiping past that stuff because for whatever reason news outlet pages have started popping up on my For You. But this one woman and her boyfriend, husband, whatever, killed the daughter, and she was in the basement. Her body was just in the basement for up to like a year or something like that.
No. What really messed me, I don't think I saw that one, was a guy, he called and turned himself in. He killed 4 of his kids over the course of months. And one of them was still alive. The 5th one, the 3-year-old, was still alive and was in there with him. And he was like, he was like, yeah, I killed my kids. They were in the trunk of his car. 4 kids. One of them was a stepkid. The wife died the year before, which I'm like, he probably killed her too. She was 3 months pregnant. Killed 4 of them over the course of months through starving and beating them. And they were homeschooled, so nobody was.
Yeah, that's the thing. She pulled the girl from school. And so they're trying to, I forgot where, somewhere in Ohio, they're trying to get a law passed in the little girl's name that the reason why she was able to get away for, I don't want to lie, I don't remember exactly the amount of time that she was dead for in the basement. It was a year because she died in 2024. They're trying to pass a law because the mother enrolled her in. Also, the mother sucks for a lot of parents suck, but also if you kill my daughter, I'm killing you. Like why?
She covering up for him or something?
Sorry,
she covering up for him.
I think they both did it. So maybe I didn't look into it because I don't like true crime. I don't like none of that type of stuff. But it was just so sad to me because it's like the same thing with the boy we were talking about earlier with the cheer coach. It's like who was advocating for the girl? I was even on a smaller scale. The girl I was talking to you about before we started recording. It's like, I don't really feel comfortable saying anything about her situation, but she's around teachers constantly. I saw her hug a teacher, and no one is saying, like, no one is advocating for these children. And maybe, I don't know, that's another conversation. But they put her in homeschool, and they're trying to get a law passed in her name because the way she was able to get away with it is, if you have your child in homeschool, there's supposed to be these checkups to make sure that most states have this. Apparently, I learned that. And she opted for virtual checkups because whatever, she was learning out of state and she's traveling and whatever. And the child, which is also why DCF is going to get involved, they kind of on thin ice. It's because the child that they were interviewing about these homeschool check-ins wasn't even the little girl.
All right.
So it's like at every turn, someone failed this child.
That's the thing. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't talk about. Like, children are really the most vulnerable because a lot of the regulations that they try to put in, like, people be like, well, you know, it's my business what I do with my kid and whatever. And those are people who, it's like, you don't understand that you have your best interest, you have your child's best interest at heart. You can't say that for everybody. There's some kids that don't have nobody, or they have somebody who is the active aggressor in their life, who's making their life a living hell, who's their parent.
Which is so odd because, like, this is your child that you grew inside of you, and it's also a child.
There was that dude that it was a dad who he left his daughter, I don't forget how old she was, little, in the car while he was drinking and watching porn, and she died. Because she overheated in the car, and then the wife was like, well, it was an accident.
Oh, he was drinking and watching porn? I thought he was playing video games.
And that too.
Oh,
all three.
Perfect. So I have to spend my Sunday afternoon.
And the wife was like, well, it was an accident, please let him out, all that stuff. Even though one of the most damning pieces of evidence against him was a text from her saying, hey, I told you to stop leaving him in the car. So it's happened multiple times before. And I was like, oh, some of y'all are, it's nuts. Birds, like, for real. Because if my husband, like, no, I don't care. Like, no.
It's the first time.
And I was like, are you stupid?
It's the way I would never trust you to be alone with my kid again. If I saw you leaving, we live in Arizona, right? This one girl just went viral a couple months ago because she was hiding a little girl in her basement when she was like 12. Hiding a little girl in her basement for like 4 months. Right. And they met on Facebook, and you know, people was just doing stuff when Facebook came out, and the little girl was like, can I come play your house and play? And she was like, okay. And they played, and then she was like, okay, you gotta go home now. And she was like, can I stay with you? And she was like, because my mom doesn't know that I'm here, and my mom whatever. And yeah, her mom, she just kept bringing food and stuff into the basement for her friend. The girl just like never went to school for like 4 months. Then something happened. I think her mom had a random, like, the girl's mom had a random, like, black mama type, we gonna clean this whole house from top to bottom, we need to clean that basement out. And she was like, I got something to tell you, there's a little girl that's been living in our basement for the 4 months. And her mom was like, what the whatever. She was, I don't know, the way she did it was, she was like, Mom, I got something to tell you. And she was hesitating. She's like, girl, what? And she was like, Sarah. And the little girl came from out the basement.
You know what? Let's see, kiss, whatever. Because that could really actually get the mom, like, in huge trouble.
But the reason why I was like, because the mom kept the little girl for even a little bit longer after that, not in the basement. And I was just like, she did it, like.
This unfolded on TikTok?
Now you have me wondering if it actually happened.
Because that was right before I said that, I was like, okay, now if you know, like, how the reveal happened or whatever, and she filmed it, like, I mean, it's not hard to believe that a kid would film that, but like, that just seems like this would be a much more serious issue, because this girl was missing, like, 4 months. Your child is missing. Like, I feel like even as a kid, you said the girl was like 12, like, you would see, like, oh, this is getting. I mean, unless it wasn't a high profile case, but I feel like it kind of would be. Like once you start,
there was no case. She was just, her mom. Wait, I missed the detail. Her mom knew she was there
for 4 months.
Her mom knew, the little girl's mom knew that she was at that girl's house.
So she just thought she was staying there for 4 months.
I'm gonna go find a video.
Cause that's nuts.
Because that's what I remember that being like. Okay, that's what's nut. Because it's like you hate your kid that much.
And some people.
And it was real sad because if it was true, that the little white girl was like, yeah, my mom's like she I guess like she gets jealous when her boyfriend and I'm just like
she better off in that basement. She better off in the basement because people like that now, that's some precious stuff.
And then when the little girl, the black girl's mom was like, yeah, you have to come get your kid. And when I was hearing the story, the only part I was like, to your point, when the girl was like, she stayed there a little bit longer. You have to leave immediately. I'm calling and I'm praying that like I don't get no negligent, because it's like I might get a negligence charge because why is there a little girl living in my basement and I had no idea. DCF is gonna take interest in that. Mm-hmm. You had a little girl living in your basement. You were none the wiser. And she kind of reminded me of my mom. I mean, our house wasn't big enough where I could hide.
I was about to say, like, you gotta have a kind of a big house to have a whole person in there that you don't know is there. Because I'm like, I wouldn't have nobody to hide. Like, some of y'all are good at deception. Because I
mean, to be fair, I lived like I lived above my grandparents. We lived in a two-flat. So where am I hiding the little girl at? And my mom was like in my face. But I don't have a basement, an attic. But to be fair to her, the way she got it, and her siblings were on board too, which is like interesting because it was like she would bring the food down to the little girl every day, and then they would like cover for her or whatever. And that's why I said she kind of reminded me of my mom. Like me and my mom very. Like once I got like older, very rarely like sat at the table, like unless it was like Sunday or like on weekends. Like it's freaking 6 p.m. Like I've been at work all day, I've been at school all day. Like I'm in my room, my mom's in her room. So it was like if we had some type of situation, I might have been able to get away with something like that if you were just in the basement. And also the school is liable because how did you not go to school for all? I know that truancy stuff be behind, so it's not like completely unfathomable. But I don't think truancy be that behind. You ever seen this little girl in months and no teacher's like, hey, crazy. Yeah, jealous of your daughter is like such a weird, creepy thing.
So many things would just be solved if y'all just did not have kids of your own fit. Like if you know you're gonna be jealous of a baby. Because first of all, yeah, we can't even, because now it's getting sick to me that why are you even attracted to a man that you feel like you got to be jealous? If you think there's even an inkling of a possibility that he would be attracted to your child, and then you bet at the child on top of that, jail for everybody involved. Like, yuck. Yeah, some of y'all just need to close your legs. No babies for you. Like...
So this is 1,000 conversations in one because also like you so desperate for that man, and that's why I said. And then when I say most women are dating down, then everybody gets mad at me. But it's like,
but also if you in that position, y'all both down.
Oh yes,
yeah, you dating on your level, and the level's down there.
That's the only man around.
That's the thing. I'm like, some of the stuff I recorded a YouTube video yesterday, and I was talking about this one. Is one of those ethicists like dilemmas, and it was about like somebody, it was like a cheating thing, and I'm just like, why are you playing in somebody else's marriage? Like if you want to be like, they not hard to harm.
Men are not hard to see into the mic. Men are so easy. No offense. Men are so easy.
Now if you want to find the right one,
well, right, that's a different
situation. But like if you need somebody to keep you warm, and I could call a couple niggas right now.
Right now. Okay, one. Text him right now.
Like what?
A man? Come on, Queen, you are better than that. Some of y'all aren't, but I'm just saying, like in general.
Like, why do you need? And then, and what's so crazy about that is like, I don't even know. You must just like infidelity, because like, if it's about, because like I said, finding the right man, that's a different situation.
Sure.
But you're already going to a man that you know is not yours.
You're already desperate. So it's like you might as well just be desperate well.
So what is the harm in you going and just finding a man to mess around with who's single, when it's like, if you were looking for the one, then why would you look in somebody else's marriage anyway? Like, you're already starting off. You might as well just be alone and go through the process of dating, because at the very least, those men are single and they can get into a relationship with you. You going the whole way around where you find somebody who's already in a relationship, and the possibility of them being with you is contingent on them breaking out of that relationship, which is no doubt going to be messy because they're cheating, and then getting a divorce, then marrying you, then knowing you lose them how you get them. So he probably going to cheat on you with somebody else. Like, that
Ask
seems
me
like,
how I know.
That seems like
no, not me.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say how you know.
But you know.
But I know. Yeah. But I'm like, that just
girlfriend
seems,
right now.
That just seems like a totally roundabout way to getting a man, when there are a bunch of easier ways to do that.
Most of our listeners who are listening right now, it's fall where you are. Have you noticed how many leaves are on the ground? That is as plentiful as men are to find.
No, well, LA.
You said what?
LA. Leaves not falling, so.
Well, maybe she from LA? Anyway.
That's nuts. Anyway.
This was riveting.
Yeah. Wishing everybody the best.
Yep. All right, y'all. Time for Black Excellence, where we hype you up, gas you up, and give you your props, because it's room for everyone at the top. Is it you or me?
It's you.
Oh. What episode is this?
345.
Okay, I thought it was 347. Wait, which was still making me. My Black Excellence is Malia Pinkard. Malia doesn't have a bio, but I wanted to give her a shout out because, like, it's so refreshing to see somebody like their job. Like, I was like, wait, hold on, I didn't mean like that. But she's a program manager at Harmony Project, which is a nonprofit here in LA that provides free music lessons to the children in LA. Oh, there go on alarm right there. And she said something. She's just so good at her job, and she was like, I'm working my dream job, and like, she does so well. Like, she started a drumline program in Leimert Park, which is a neighborhood here in LA, and it, like, they played at some parade. Like, they get invited to, like, the Rose Bowl to play, and it's just like, she's a program manager, so she's not doing the teaching. But yeah, I want to give her a shout out. Somebody advocating for the kids. So shout out to Malia and all you do. And if you got a bio, girl, and you hear this, I'll link it.
Period. She might, because on the Harmony Project, but I think they only do, like, the staff office, like, maybe not.
Yeah, I looked. It's just a listing of the managers.
Oh, okay. Okay, my piece of the week is Check 2, because I just remembered it. Ugh. I don't know.
Sorry.
What's wrong with Check 2?
I'm not a fan.
You remember what it sounded like?
I remember playing it. I remember not having it. No, I don't remember what it sounded like, but I remember playing it, and I know I don't. That's the like little T dance. What's it called? The little movement. Yeah, the little. I don't like even symphonies. Oh, 4? 6 is T. I don't like 4.
6. Oh, okay. I don't say 6.
6 is T.
I don't know.
I don't like 4 at all.
3, I couldn't even tell you a single thing about it. And 1, the only thing I remember is that it ends the way that 2 starts.
I feel like his earlier symphonies is like, girl, just earlier symphonies are like, that's why you got to keep writing. That's kind of
yeah, it is like that. But I played 2 a lot, so I just remembered it. So I was like, why not?
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you so much for listening to Classically Black Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Classically Black Podcast. Join the Ebony Tower. That's patreon.com/Classically Black Podcast. You get exclusive content at Patreon. Dalanie was showing us her underwear drawer last week. So if you want to see that, sign up for Patreon. Thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.